Welcome back. This is Frank DiMora with the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. If you'd like to read this documentary on Bible prophecy and current events, which prove that we are definitely in the last days, and I'm connecting the dots between the current events and Bible prophecy, go to my website, which is www.DiMoraMinistry.com, or put in the three W's .BibleProphecyMan.com. And once you're at my website, you'll see the cover of my book, and you'll also see the back cover. And right below it, you'll see a link. And when you click to that link, you can get my book today for free. And you can read that documentary. Now, I've been discussing what's taken place in Egypt and around the Middle East as these Arab nations who have been under dictatorships for some time are now starting to go through civil unrest, which was prophesied by Jesus in Matthew 24:7. And Christ told us that in the last days you would see kingdom against kingdom, and this is what we're seeing now. This is the civil unrest, and it's going to get worse. But in relation to what's happening in Egypt, this is very important because Egypt is one of the nations that are listed in the Psalm 83 that will be attacking Israel during the time of the end. And this hasn't happened yet. We know that this has come up in the future, and I believe that this is one of the reasons why Egypt is now going through a transitional period where they're going to have to form a new government. Now, I've been warning about certain entities that are in the lead to become the new government once it's formed. Now, right now, the military is taking care of the government, and they've promised that they were going to hand over the government once they had this new constitution written and established. Now, there is an article today I've been warning about the deception of the Muslim Brotherhood, because they are a group that is very outspoken about how they feel about Israel. They want to actually see Israel defeated and destroyed. Now, in Egypt, coming out of Cairo today, let me read something to you that is gives you sort of the handwriting on the wall, what's going to happen in the future. It says, Egypt's long-banned Muslim Brotherhood said Thursday it intends to form a political party once democracy is established, as the country's new military rulers launched a panel of experts to amend the country's constitution enough to allow the democratic election later this year. The panel is to draw up changes at the breakneck pace within 10 days to end the monopoly that ousted President Hassan Mubarak's ruling party once held, which he endorsed through widespread election rigging. Now, it goes on to say the initial changes may not be enough for many in Egypt, calling for the current constitution, now suspended by the military, to be thrown out completely and rewritten to ensure no one can once again establish an autocratic rule. Two members of the panel said the next elected government could further change the document if it chooses. The military choices for the panel's makeup were a sign of a new political legitimacy of the Muslim Brotherhood, the fundamentalist group that was the most bitter rival of Mubarak's regime. Now, so you see a group that hates Israel. They are definitely, now 2 weeks ago we heard that the Muslim Brotherhood came out and said that we don't want to be involved in the elections, we're not asking all this. And now we're seeing, after Mubarak's government is gone, that this is exactly what they had planned to do. And we know from the Quran that the Quran teaches that it's okay to be lying and to further Allah's message. And this is what we're seeing now from what the Brotherhood stated before, that they don't want to get involved, and this is, they have nothing to do with this. Well, we know for a fact that this wasn't true, and they do want to be the new power. Now, in relation to what we're told in Psalm 83, you can see that the outcome is not going to be good. That we know that eventually there will be a new government that will be formed, and this government, as we see from the scriptures, will be the government, obviously, that will take sides with those nations who hate Israel and want to destroy her. Otherwise, we wouldn't see Egypt mentioned at all in the Psalm 83 war, which is gives us the very names of all the countries that are going to be coming against Israel in the last days. So these events coming out are very ominous, to say the least, and you need to know what the scripture says to be able to look for the things that are taking place, and then you'll be able, without any problems whatsoever, be able to connect the dots between prophecy and the current events and where it's going to be leading to in the near future.